This is what my van looks like now, but just a few short weeks ago it looked like this. Now it took quite a bit of work to go from this to that, so let's get you caught up. In this episode, we add the storage piece of the bulkhead and the finishing touches to the kitchen. More ply is added to complete the look, and Dad does some last minute wire adjustments as we finish setting up the truma heating system and boxing that in. And the final pieces of the gas work are completed, which means I now have heating and hot water. Now let's go back a few weeks to just after we'd been let down again by the gas people. It was connected and working, but we had no drop vent or manifold fitted.
We're going to put the back on this shower today and install the thermometer centre for the truma so I can get the heating sorted. Because it's a very clever machine and it knows it's not there at the moment. So even though we have gas, it comes up with an error code to say there's no sensor, so we're not turning the heating on because we don't know how hot or cold it is. So we've got to do that to get the rest of the truma working. These stick out ever so slightly from the back. This was the only way we could manage to get this fixings working. So what we've decided to do is just build out the back so it covers out those. So we're going to just have a bit of a build up on the top down to this bar here, and then we'll go flat down the back of the mattress where the mattress is.
We glued, screwed and pocket holed just enough pieces to fit a piece of ply to.
Got to cut a piece of ply for this top bit now, and then the bit underneath will be the separate bit of ply. That's it cut out now to the right shape, and we're going to screw it on just in case I ever need access to the shower things at the back.
This is what the thermostat looks like, and these are the wires that need to be attached to the back of it. So Dad, using his soldering iron, puts those pieces of wire on the back, and that means we can attach it to the wall. Once that was attached, Dad had very neatly sorted out all of those wires, and they ran down the inside of the shower wall, across the floor and into the truma, and then back to the control panel. We plugged in external electric hookup, and then I heard this noise from Dad.
Oh!
There's hot air coming out of there.
I've got hot water and heating.
It stopped flashing, which means I've got hot water. Should we give this a try? Should we run it? I've put a bit more in the tank. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, please. Look at the steam! That's so hot, I'm not touching it, I almost burnt myself.
That's 60.
That's 60.
And if you go to Eco, it's 40.
Ah.
Okay, so I put it on 60.
Can
so
I
if
set
you
it for 50? Because 50
No.
is where you want it, right?
Yeah, so hot is 60,
Okay, go Eco
Eco's
then.
40.
Right. So we got in here, shut the doors, and within 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Not even 10 minutes, probably?
Maximum 10
5 minutes. We were both like, okay, it's boiling, turn it off. We were putting our arm through the gap, and it was really cold through there and really warm in here. So within, 6 minutes, I'm going to say, 6 minutes, it got really warm, heating-wise. After we'd got the heating done, Dad came in and set the hot water going, and then we had to wait for like 10-15 minutes for that to stop flashing to heat up properly. We've just done the bit on the side of the fridge in the meantime, and then as we've come back now, it's working, and we've got hot water and heating.
Yeah.
So even though the gas isn't actually fitting properly, we don't have the drop vent or anything like that, I can actually at least go stay in it, which is what we wanted. And, you can just hear it's just kicked in again.
Right.
So that is now running off just the gas and the batteries, not the electric hookup. So it works on all of the available options.
Yeah.
So in this process, while we've been figuring out off camera, we have had two error warnings come up on the truma interface there. The first one was to tell us that it didn't have a temperature sensor in, which is why we've then added that in. And then once we got that in, that's when the heating worked. Then when we came to do the hot water, we had another error message which said no gas, but that's because we hadn't turned the gas on. There is a little port at the front next to my steering wheel, which has an isolation switch for the gas and a gauge to tell me how full my gas tank is, and we just haven't switched that on. So once we'd done that, and everything was heating up okay, it all seems to be working, which is huge, massive milestone. So really excited about that. When you walk in here now, It is warm inside, cold outside, warm inside. So that's heating, that's hot water, that's gas, that's how high you want the fan.
Over the next few days, we did some odd jobs while waiting for the gas to get sorted elsewhere, so back to the bulkhead.
Now we've got the lights on and they're all sorted, wires ready. We have added this piece on the back to allow for us to attach a door to it, and I've given it 2 coats of undercoat and 1 coat of top paint. We have attached wooden battens to the top. You can see where we've drawn the line. This is where it comes up to, so we need to fill in this gap here. Now, including the piece of wood we put on the back, we have cut little wedges so it will fit like that, and then the piece will be able to fit across the top like there and drill into that, and that's the support. And a 4th one over there, so we're going to put 4 across the top, and that should help support it in. We're testing to see if we can pocket screw them. That one looks good. The first one's too far forward, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's okay.
This is from the back of the kitchen. I've taken it off, given it the paint, and I've cut in the hole for the vent. So that's going to go over there. Yes?
Yeah. That's okay.
That'll do. Well, it's in.
It's in. These we will just...
They just need normal screws in, don't they?
They just need a screw. A drill through and a screw.
Yeah. There it is. So those screws are going into the wooden bits that we have filled at the top, and that's offering support. So it doesn't look at that already staying up. There we go, behind you. Oh wow. Oh wow.
Okay.
That looks really good, yeah.
There we go.
Ta-da! There will be a door on it, and we'll obviously finish off the caulking and lick a paint and da-da-da-da-da to make it look neat. And then Pops has got the wires down the back, which is going to come into that switch, isn't it?
That switch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's cool.
Dad caulked the screw holes while I did some more painting, and then we went back to do the wiring. Now, the plug that we are replacing the wires for here was actually originally designed for the water sensor for the water tank in the back, but we're not doing that. So we are using the cupboard lights of the bulkhead, and Dad's using that plug to rewire the tin. So watch when he turns the switch on. Yay, we have light.
And there we have lights in the cupboard. Please ignore my carpeting. I did the best I could. Wonderful. He's added a bit of caulking on as well to sort of hide the join for the moment. There will be some finishing off work, but that's that. I've just decided as well, like the bit that I filled in there with the white extra piece, I think that looks a lot better. And if we rotate round, see the bit there? I also think I'm going to do the same with that side now, because we've decided, haven't we? We think it would look better. We are going to carpet underneath this, but again, it would just end up being a black triangle down there. So I've got a bit of cardboard. I'm going to create a template, get something there before we carpet and finish it off. And what's Pop's doing?
I'm going to caulk this now.
Ah, yes, right.
And this.
So we've got a couple of gaps near the ceiling. So at the top of the shower and up here, look, you can see where the light's coming through. Now, he has told me that, where did that go? That when you're caulking on the ceiling, if you put some sort of masking tape up, then caulk over it and then pull the masking tape off, that's how it leaves a nice finish. So I've just asked him to show me how to do that. All these little finishing off jobs. I've also added the first coat of pink down there and on the second piece that's cut out here. And probably the biggest thing of all We've got the gas and the heating fully working, fully in, fully connected. I left the heating on last night on 10 degrees because it was planning to drop lower. And when I opened it this morning, it was warm, and it was actually colder in the cab than it was in the back, which was my whole point of keeping the bulkhead in. So I'm dead chuffed. Less than a week after that video has gone out, we've got the gas sorted. Which means we can now add the heating vents in properly. I just left them like that last night to go out, but you can see there's the manifold, there's the drop vent in there, everything's sorted. We're all good. So we're going to fix these heating ducts in place and then actually box that in as well. That's sort of the aim. And then that means that we can add in the ply to cover the side of that fridge. We can finish off by applying the bottom of the shower. Now we've got the temperature gauge in. So more little jobs off. We also need to box in this because I can't actually use the garage at the moment because if anything slides around, it's going to bash that and break them. So we need to box these things in so I can then start using the garage space as well. It's all coming together. Dad's doing the caulking. Let's have a look, see what he's up to.
That one needs a bit more, but we'll let that dry first.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a bigger gap down there, wasn't there? So,
so we'll let that dry and we'll do that one again, but that seems to have worked.
Other than that, finish that off nicely. We'll do the same at this side.
You can actually see the gap disappearing there as Dad's doing the caulking. I think that's really satisfying. So Dad's doing the caulking while I am back and forth with this template piece. It's much easier to do it on a piece of cardboard and then I can copy it with ply. And then we move on to cutting the side of the kitchen. So we're going in the garage area now. That piece can finally be blocked off now the gas is done. Needed to mark off a little point there where the gas pipe was coming through. Cut that out and then it slides on.
Hey, yes it does.
We put that on there like that.
Yeah.
And then we've got a ledge here then to come out.
And build the truma over. Yeah.
A quick measure. And back to the cutting board to get another piece of ply for the side.
That looks okay, doesn't it?
That looks good. Yeah, Dad's just cut a couple of spots out for where the vents are going to come through. Yeah, this is basically just to protect from Savannah, so she can climb over it and she's not going to damage anything and everything's sort of okay, but it's all going to be screwed on so we can just unscrew it if we need access to anything.
We fix this to a ledge at the edge and then work on the piece at the bottom. We were using offcuts for all of these bits. So that's why some of the pieces of wood aren't to the right length and everything's a bit on the wonk, but that's just because we're using what we had left. So using the engineering skills again, we create a lovely little casing for the truma, making sure it's all hidden from my pesky little cat. And as Dad works out what to do with the heating vents, I finish off the painting and get that installed in the kitchen, which goes here at the back of the fridge. That's why there's a vent to allow for airflow. And I will be using an L-shaped edge to finish it.
I'm going to paint this gold as well. And that's going to edge it off nicely.
And the back of the van is looking a lot neater now too, isn't it?
And there we have one boxed inside of kitchen and truma vents. We have just had a little play around with some fixtures and we're going to block this one off. It just needed a bit of a corner in there, but instead of buying a corner, we'll just use that. Dad's created something to block the end off. I'm going to put gold vents in here, like I have at the back of the fridge, to allow for air ventilation, so I need to buy another one of those. I'm not going to bother painting it. I don't really see the point. And I kind of like that underneath the garage, it's all going to be raw and remind me of what we've done. So that's where we're at now. We're going to go to B&Q, get a couple of bits so we can finish off tomorrow. We'll finish off the bottom of this side. We're going to box in the pumps and the bulkhead. Love it.
Dad secured those truma vents in place, which left us at a very neat spot, I feel. Now, this is a lot of progress, but it's still a lot of work to get to this point, isn't it? So join us next time, where we create a new cubby hole for my shoes, I finish off all the painting, and we turn this and this into a magnificent looking table. And Mama finishes the curtains and window covers with a little mushroom treat. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.